Hello students. So let us continue with chapter 12, electricity. Now in the previous videos you have studied what is electric current, what is electric potential difference. Okay, you know their definitions and units, and you also know the symbols of common electrical components. Now we know that if two bodies at different temperatures are in physical contact with each other, then heat flows from one body to the other. Which body? Heat flows from a body at higher temperature to the body at lower temperature. Similarly, the diagram which we have considered in part 1 of this playlist, electricity. In that case, we have seen that water flows from the left side towards right hand side of the structure drawn. Okay, when the valve is opened, and this flow of water will be faster if the level difference is more. Like in case of when two physical bodies at different temperatures are in physical contact, then heat will flow when there is a temperature difference, and faster will be the flow of heat when the temperature difference is more. And similarly, in case of water also, flow of water or water current we can say will be more, or it will be faster when the water level difference is more. Now you know that for electric current to flow through in an electric circuit, potential difference is required. So logically speaking, we can accept this, that more is the potential difference across the terminals of the cell or battery, faster will be the flow of charges, or more will be the value of electric current flowing through the circuit. So there is a scientist, German physicist George Simon Ohm, who had discovered the relationship between the potential difference across any conductor and the electric current flowing through it in an electric circuit. So let us see the statement of Ohm's law given by George Simon Ohm. This law states that as long as the physical conditions of the conductor remains the same, as long as the physical conditions of the conductor remains the same, the potential difference, let us represent it by capital V, across a conductor in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current I flowing through it. So the statement is clear, and we can here write its mathematical form also. But see, have a look at the statement first. What is the condition? We know that potential difference V across a conductor in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current I flowing through it. Or we can say reverse also, that current I flowing through any conductor is directly proportional to potential difference across it. But when this is true, as long as the physical conditions of the conductor remains the same. So I'll repeat the statement, listen to it properly. As long as the physical conditions of the conductor remains the same, the potential difference V across a conductor in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current I flowing through it. So if I write its mathematical form, it will be V is proportional to I, directly proportional to I. More is V, more is the potential difference, more will be the value of current. Now, when you know the rule, whenever we convert this proportionality sign into is equal to sign, we have to multiply any one of the sides by some constant, and we always prefer to multiply the right hand side. And here also, V is proportional to I, then we can write V is equal to IR, I into R, capital R. What is R? We know it is a constant of proportionality, but it is given special name called as resistance of the conductor. So if you are asked to state the Ohm's law, you can give the statement, express it in mathematical form. This is the mathematical expression. But when you write the mathematical expression, you can mention where V is a potential difference applied across a conductor, I is a current flowing through it, and R is a constant of proportionality here, where it is called as resistance of the conductor. Now if I ask you, what are the factors on which this constant of proportionality depends? As you have seen in the statement that V is proportional to I, this holds good as long as the physical conditions of the conductor remains the same. So from this we can understand that this R, resistance of the conductor, depends upon physical conditions of the conductor. And in later videos you will see that the physical conditions of the conductor, we are going to prove it also, that on which resistance depends are length of the conductor, thickness or cross-sectional area of the conductor, nature of material of the conductor, and temperature of the conductor. So you have to remember 4 factors on which resistance of a given conductor depends. 1. Length of the conductor, thickness or cross-sectional area of the conductor, nature of material of the conductor, and lastly temperature of the conductor. So now let us see an experiment or activity which can be used to verify Ohm's law. Now we can verify Ohm's law by using this circuit, by doing an activity which is having this circuit. Now see the circuit diagram here. In this circuit diagram we can see there are 4 cells, actually it is a battery, there are 4 cells. Okay? Each is having potential difference of V volts. Then we have here XY. What is XY? XY is a nichrome wire having some length. I have chosen the length from NCERT only, half meter. We can see this is a voltmeter which is connected in parallel across XY wire, and you must have seen this symbol before. This is a symbol for resistance. You will understand it later. Let us first discuss the activity. So XY is a nichrome wire having certain length, let us say 0.5 meter. Nichrome is an alloy. It is an alloy which is made up of nickel, chromium, manganese and iron metal. So 4 metals together they make nichrome wire. Okay, so you should know the constituents of nichrome alloy: nickel, chromium, manganese and iron. And you will understand later why we have chosen nichrome wire. Now this is voltmeter. It measures potential difference across the wire. Ammeter is connected in series which measures the current in the circuit. There is a key. As I have shown, key closed, so the direction of current is also shown, which is from positive towards the negative side. And also you can see that positive of voltmeter and positive of ammeter are towards the positive side of the cell or battery. Now connect the circuit as shown in the figure. You are supposed to connect the circuit as shown in the figure or circuit diagram. These are simple connecting wires. Okay. Now suppose first of all I connect only one cell in the circuit. That's why I have put the dotted lines here. Okay, so we have 4 different cells. Each is having potential difference of 1.5 volt. First, let us connect only one cell in the circuit and then close the key. What you have to do is you have to note down the value of V by looking at voltmeter, and you have to measure the value of current from ammeter. So you can make a table where we can write number of cells now is 1. V, potential difference, let us say it is V. In the row I have written the V and I are the symbols of potential difference and current respectively, and in the bracket their units are written. Okay, so for I will measure V and I will measure the corresponding value of I, current. Now what I can do is after that take the key out, let the circuit be opened. Now connect 2 cells in the circuit as shown here, forming a battery of 2 cells. It means you will connect it here. Second dotted line. Now 2 cells will be in the circuit. Again you will close the key. Again you will note down the value of V and I from voltmeter and ammeter as said before, and note it down in the table. Similarly, you can close the key and connect 3 cells in the circuit. It means third dotted line will be now solid, and you can measure the value of V and I, and again for 4 cells in a circuit. You will see that every time when V increases, I also increases. From the table, if you note down the readings in the table, you will see that as V increases, I increases. And when you will take the ratio of V to I, ratio of V to I, it means V divided by I. When you will see for each set of readings, you will confirm it that V over I is a constant in all the cases. So when you connect one cell, then two cell, then three, then four, every time the readings shown by voltmeter and ammeter are different. Okay, as V increases, current reading will increase. But every time when you note down the ratio of V to I, the ratio is constant. And hence we have proved Ohm's law. Because what is Ohm's law? According to Ohm's law, V is proportional to I, V is equal to IR, and we know R is a constant of proportionality. So here what we have proved in the table from this activity, that V upon I is constant. Although we are changing V, I is changing, but the ratio remains constant. If the ratio remains constant, it means that answer which you are getting in each set of reading at the end, which is constant for all the set of readings approximately, that is nothing but resistance of the conductor. Which conductor? Nichrome wire. So using this activity, we can prove that V is proportional to I, where V is a potential difference across the conductor and I is a current flowing through it. We know in series here in the circuit, same current flows through the entire circuit. Okay, so here I hope you have understood this very well, and each time when you actually double, see when you use two cells, potential difference will be doubled, 2V, then 3V, then 4V. Current will also be accordingly doubled, tripled or 4 times as shown here. I will be showing it now. So as you can see in the table, first when V is the potential difference measured across this wire, I is a current. In the second case, reading will be doubled 2V and I will be also doubled. In the third case, both are tripled. In the fourth case, both of them becomes 4 times. Sorry, that is 4I, not 4V. And when you take the ratio in each case, you will see that 2 gets cancelled, 3 gets cancelled, 4 gets cancelled, and in each set of reading you get V upon I only. Okay, so that is constant, and remember last is 4V and 4I. So see here 4V and 4I, and see the unit of that constant. What is the unit? V upon A. Now V upon A is for ampere and V is for volt there. So unit of SI unit of resistance is volt per ampere. Now if after doing the experiment you have the set of 4 set of readings, then you can plot the graph of V versus I. V versus I means potential difference versus current. So you have to draw the graph on the graph paper. You have to label the axis as potential difference and current. In the bracket, units are written. Symbols for units are written. Here ampere, here volt. When you will draw the graph, you will see it is a straight line graph passing through the origin. Otherwise also in your 9th class you have studied, and you know that whenever one physical quantity is proportional to the other quantity, then the graph of one versus other is a straight line passing through the origin. So since V is proportional to I, so V versus I graph will be a straight line passing through the origin. Now, you have studied about graphs in 9th class. So you know that slope of this graph, slope of VI graph will give us what? Resistance R. Because slope here will mean V divided by I, and that will be nothing but resistance R. So now as from Ohm's law, we know that resistance is R is V upon I. What is the qualitative definition of resistance? Resistance means opposition. See, like we have, whenever there is relative motion between the two bodies or two surfaces, there exists frictional force. Similarly, it is a kind of opposition only, a kind of frictional force only that exists in the conductor, that a conductor has. Every conductor has certain resistance, certain opposition to the flow of electric current through it. Okay, I have told you before, there is nothing like 100% conductor or 100% insulator thing. Every body has certain opposition like friction to the flow of electric charges or electric current through it. So the qualitative definition of resistance will be, it is a property of a conductor to resist the flow of electric charges or electric current through it. So resistance is nothing but opposition of the conductor to the flow of electric current through it. This is the qualitative definition. For quantitative definition, we can use a mathematical form of Ohm's law, that is V is equal to IR. So from there, R is equal to V upon I. So from here, you can give the quantitative definition of R. Resistance of a conductor is a ratio of potential difference applied across it to the amount of current flowing through it. As now you are used to, I think so you are able to give the quantitative definitions from the formula, as in 9th class also you people have learned that. So resistance of a conductor is a ratio of potential difference applied across it to the current flowing through it. What will be the SI unit of resistance? As mentioned before, and as you can see here, it is volt per ampere. And this volt per ampere is given a special name in honor of George Simon Ohm. OH ohm. OH ohm here, which starts with small letter O, is the symbol, is a SI unit of resistance. And this is the Greek letter. This symbol represents ohm. So SI unit of resistance is ohm. This is a symbol, and you know from here that 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt per ampere. You can easily define the SI unit of resistance also. I hope you can do it. Resistance of a conductor is said to be 1 ohm when 1 volt of potential difference is applied across it and 1 ampere is the amount of current flowing through it. It is easier to give the quantitative definition and the definition of SI unit of resistance by using this equation. Now from this relation, we can see R is inversely proportional to I. R is opposition to the flow of current. It means R is inversely proportional to current. It means if we double the resistance, current will be halved. So resistance and this current, when R is inversely proportional to I will be inversely proportional to R. So I hope you have understood this relation. So as we double the resistance, current will be half, and accordingly as we make the resistance 4 times, current will become 1 by 4 times. I hope the statement of Ohm's law, definition of resistance and verification of Ohm's law, the graph which represents the Ohm's law here, all the topics are clear to you. So we'll continue with this chapter in the next video. Please revise the video. Thank you, students.